Russia saying it will annex 4 regions which had held referendums earlier this week. It says it will take control of those areas tomorrow. Meanwhile, the European Union and the U.S. are planning to impose more sanctions on Russia for holding what they call sham referendums in Ukraine. So the ballots were held in Russian-occupied parts of eastern Ukraine. The Kremlin-backed authorities there say the results show that people overwhelmingly voted to join the Russian Federation. Separatists reported huge margins of victory, saying that in the region of Luhansk, for example, 98% of voters favored annexation.
We do not accept the sham referendum and any kind of annexation in Ukraine. And we're determined to make the Kremlin pay for this further escalation. So we propose sweeping new import bans on Russian products. This will keep Russian products out of the European market and deprive Russia of an additional 7 billion euros in revenues.
Latvia has hosted a military training day with high-mobility artillery rocket systems, or HIMARS, flown in specially for the occasion from Germany. The demonstration was intended to show NATO's readiness to defend the Baltics, though technical glitches meant that the 300-kilometre range rockets weren't actually fired during the time window allocated by air traffic control.
For us, it is to increase the confidence that our allies can come here quickly. It's an answer to the skeptics who question how fast they can deploy. It takes a few hours.
The rockets went back to Germany after the demonstration, but all 3 Baltic states have now placed orders from the United States for their own HIMARS.
Meanwhile, Sweden's Coast Guard has discovered a 4th gas leak on the damaged Nord Stream pipeline that carried gas from Russia to Europe through the Baltic Sea. Now, the unexplained leaks, 2 in Sweden's exclusive economic zone and the other one in the Danish exclusive economic zone, continue to worry leaders across the globe. And amidst the heightened security concerns, NATO and the European Union have warned of the need to protect critical infrastructure. The West has blamed the disruption on a sabotage. The bloc has now vowed to step up the protection of its energy infrastructure. The announcement, of course, comes a day after the European Commission chief, Ursula von der Leyen, had issued a warning against any attempt to disrupt the European energy infrastructure.
Ian making landfall right near Fort Myers, 3:05 p.m., winds of 150 miles an hour. One of the strongest September hurricanes to strike the U.S. in decades. Already tonight, catastrophic damage, storm surges that have destroyed homes and wiped away cars. Devastating winds and now the rain, up to 30 inches of rain expected in some places. Still a Category 4 hurricane as we come on tonight, winds 130 miles an hour. It is just inching across Florida now, 8 miles an hour, moving very slowly toward the very populated Orlando area. It could still be a hurricane when it gets there. Images of the eye walls at Cayman Shore in Pine Island, Florida. AccuWeather video tonight of the fierce wind and storm surge from just before the hurricane made landfall. In Fort Myers, evidence of that storm surge just ahead of the hurricane. Cars and backyards in this neighborhood disappearing under several feet of water. In Fort Myers, that powerful winds ripping the roof off of this home the moment the eye wall hit Placida, Florida. The pictures right here, the torrential rains, the winds destroying this building. A traffic camera capturing landfall in Punta Gorda. Trees blowing and the gusting rains. Tonight, more than 1.5 million customers in the dark. And look at the sparks there flying near these lines in downtown Naples.
North Korea has completed preparations for a nuclear test, and it could take place sometime between October 16th and November 7th, if the regime decides to go ahead with the plan. South Korea's spy agency, the National Intelligence Service, gave the assessment during a closed-door briefing to lawmakers on Wednesday. The agency said the North has completed the restoration of an underground nuclear test tunnel at its Punggye-ri site, increasing the chance of a nuclear test. Punggye-ri is where the North conducted all 6 of its nuclear tests. According to lawmakers briefed by the agency, North Korea could carry out its 7th nuclear test after the opening of the Chinese Communist Party's National Congress on October 16 and before the U.S. midterm elections on November 7.
Taiwan's Ministry of Defense has said that it has tracked 31 Chinese aircraft and 4 ships around the island. This as tensions between China and Taiwan continue to simmer. The ministry said that they tracked 6 fighter jets as they crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait, while 1 anti-submarine plane and 3 drones intruded into the southwest corner of Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Taiwan has asked the combat air patrols, Navy ships and air defense missile systems to monitor Chinese activities. They have tasked them with responding to such activities and issued radio warnings as well.
At least 19 people died and about 30 were hospitalized after consuming toxic alcohol from a roadside kiosk in northern Morocco. An official from the health ministry confirmed Wednesday. Victims reportedly suffered symptoms including stomach cramps. The police arrested a 48-year-old in connection with the incident. Moroccan law prohibits the sale of alcohol to Muslims, but stores discreetly offer it for sale.
The Grammy Award-winning US rapper Coolio has died in Los Angeles. The legendary entertainer, whose real name is Artist Leon Ivy Jr., was 59 years old. Coolio was an up-and-comer in the late 1980s who rocketed to fame with Gangsta's Paradise, which he recorded for the soundtrack to the film Dangerous Minds. An official cause of death has not yet been released.